lots of ways to get to an awesome career. I actually I got into the Park Service through an internship with the Student Conservation Association. So they offer different conservation internships of different lengths on public lands, Forest Service, Park Service. And then with the Fish and Wildlife Service in Hawaii, there's a program called Kupu AmeriCorps, and they do lots of conservation internships. So if you are listening from Hawaii or from the mainland, there's all different types of ways that you can get started really, really early doing amazing conservation work. And amazing science work. So there's like all kinds of things.
Yeah, my advice to young people listening is, if you're interested in this kind of science, definitely keep an open mind, because I'm willing to wager that many of the people in this room had no idea this is what they were going to be doing. I think we've all kind of been shocked to end up in such an awesome opportunity, but was not part of
As I come up, you're going to run out
the
of
career
tether.
plan for sure.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these more public-facing exploration missions didn't really start even for until after I was out of college. I didn't know about any of this until I was in grad school. So it's like, you know, I always wanted to do oceanographic work. I really didn't think at the beginning of grad school that I would be leading an expedition before I even finished grad school. So if you really, start to see something that you're excited about, just start making small moves to make those things more of a possibility.
At your age of, what was it, 3 millennia last time we...
It was about time.
How long have you been in grad school?
Just about 1 millennia. It's okay.
One of the things that's been, I think, is so cool being on this expedition and watching the other Nautilus and Okeanos and Falcor is so much of the deep sea is still unexplored, and there's so many questions, right?
Yeah.
And we're stopping and looking at these corals, and we're looking at these different organisms, and there's so much we still don't know about the geology of the deep sea, about the biology of the deep sea, about how we can explore these places. And so, you know, there's just a universe of possibilities still for exploration and research.
Yeah, definitely. It's almost like every other question that we think about when we're out here or someone asks, the answer is maybe, but we don't know.
Yeah.
Because there's still a lot left to be done in all senses, from biological, geological, physical oceanography, all of those, chemical oceanography.
Craft DC groundfall.
We're still just kind of scratching the surface when it gets to the knowledge that we've acquired.
I mean,
I'm going to go ahead and turn off the valve, though.
A very real sense. Like, if you've got a group of 5th graders that are listening right now, like, by the time they're out here doing research, they can be answering the questions that we're asking in this band today.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking is, I mean, again, to Alexa's point, if this is how fast the technology is progressing, what is it going to look like for them? Deep sea exploration is going to be unrecognizable compared to what it is today.
Yeah, which is really exciting. I mean, it's like to watch all of the technology progress so quickly from a side of someone that really just utilizes the technology. Makes it really exciting to think about what in the span of my career, which will be hopefully, you know, a couple more millennia. I'll get to really experience and use the advances that are happening in real time.
You know, it's interesting, speaking of the advances, I knew a bunch of sub-pilots when I first started in this kind of industry, and they were confident that ROVs would never replace submersibles because, you know, it's totally different to be down there, and you just couldn't do the same kind of work with an ROV. And it's turning out that you can do the same kind of work with an ROV. And so here I am, an ROV pilot, and I'm like, you could never do the same kind of work with an AUV. And I'm like, I'm waiting for the time when, like, you can do the same kind of work with an AUV.
Yeah, so
And
when Greg says, yeah,
what do
why
you
don't
mean
you
by an AUV?
explain sub versus ROV versus AUV?
Submersible would be a manned submersible. So Alvin is a manned submersible. The
Human occupied.
human occupied. Yeah, there are some commercial things like the Deep Workers and the Johnson Sea Links. I don't remember where those are now. I think
They're retired.
I thought one got sold to Brazil.
Oh, maybe it did. I think, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I started at Harbor Branch, so
Yeah.
that was my introduction. And those were the guys who were just like confident they weren't ever going to be replaced.
Well, and I think it's important to touch on the fact that none of these vehicles have to replace one another. They all serve
They
really
serve different
valuable purposes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because there's nothing like being on the seafloor. I've been down a couple times,
true.
and it is a completely different experience. And honestly, we're all in awe watching the video, but when you get to go down and experience the physicality of what it feels like to be down there, it's kind of a
Right, but wait until we have
life-altering.
cameras so that way it's virtual reality.
true. Yeah.
We'll even, spray you with water and say there's a leak.
No, I don't want that.
Wait, so have you been
feedback.
down in like
Yeah.
a
So
submersible?
yeah, I've been in Alvin once, and then
deep
I've been
did you
in.
go?
I think we were like 1,700 meters.
Wow.
Yeah, it was
That's
cool.
crazy. Seriously?
Where were you?
Off of the Atlantic coast of the U.S., so off of like South
Nice.
Carolina.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Man.
it was really cool. And then I've been in. Have you heard of Ocean X in the Aleutian?
Yeah.
I went with them also last fall off of Massachusetts to some canyons, and we unfortunately got hit by a ton of hurricanes, so we couldn't go. We couldn't do very much diving, but I did one sub dive in their kind of bubble sub nadir where you have like full acrylic around you, so
Yeah.
that's super cool to watch the colors change as you go down and stuff. You're completely surrounded by ocean.
And their sub is like 1,000 meters
Right.
rated, right?
Yeah.
So it's not too deep.
Yeah, you can't, but that's because the acrylic.
Right, of course.
Um,
Still must be awesome though.
yeah. It's an
Yeah.
interesting.
Only 1,000 meters.
Yeah.
1,000 meters.
Well, Argus can go 6,000, so.
That's true.
We got a little push there. And we're just stepping along.
Yeah. So we've come over the high point of waypoint 4. We've been just trekking along.
Yeah, we're starting to climb for waypoint 5.
Yeah.
It's going to be a gradual slope for like
Is that a fish or just a
300 meters.
oddly colored
then
rock?
Looks like a
Well-
holothurian.
Holothurian.
Yeah.
So, sea slug? Sea cucumber, rather?
Yeah, let me know if you
Share.
guys see something that you wanna zoom on, or a coral or something.
Just going over this really cool lava rock here. Volcanic rocks here. Not lava currently.
We have a question in our science chat. They are curious if the ROV pilots have any experience with flying airplanes or helicopters, and what previous experience is needed / required to be selected as an ROV pilot.
Question.
So for Jess and I think it's safe to say no, we don't have plane flying
I don't have
experience.
plane flight, no.
Summer, one of our other
Mm-hmm.
ROV pilots, does have plane flying experience. She's a licensed pilot. What type of experience is required to do this? Mostly it's kind of engineering background and then reaching out, and you get kind of trained in with whatever group you're working with. Be that, and so you have to have a strong enough engineering background to get you in the door. And then hopefully you're trainable. Well, it's interesting. Not everybody actually is trainable. Some people come to it very naturally. Some people it's really quite a challenge to pay attention to all the different aspects. And it's also very hard to train someone to pay attention to all the different aspects, because as much as I can say you have to watch this and this and this and this and this, everyone that I've talked to in the end comes up with like their own system of scanning. You know, so I can say, well, I go from this screen and then I look at this screen and then I glance up and then I check over here. But everyone will come up with what works for them best. Mike's experience was a little bit more trial by fire, if I remember correctly. It was, you know, he's instructed to pick something up, and then, like, that was you know, figuring it out on your own. And we try to coach and do practice and stuff like that. So,
Marley, you want to zoom in here real quick?
Sure.
Hello.
Little shrimp friend over there.
Oh yeah.
Intimidation stance.
Well, crustacean party.
predation potential. Although for the most part, crabs are not predators.
Yeah, no. Scavengers.
Actually, there's
Marley, go ahead.
Which is interesting because
good.
the squat
More
lobsters
shrimps.
are frequently much more active predators. Or there are some squat lobsters that are more active predators, not just scavengers.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, Marley, go ahead and come wide, please.
And squat lobsters, their name is squat lobster, but they are actually crabs. But because their tail, like when their anatomy, their tail is just kind of reduced and tucked under, they get that name of squat lobster.
If we were to go all the way upslope, up to Howland Island itself, there's a huge community of strawberry hermit crabs that live up on the island.
Oh yeah, those are amazingly adorable.
They are shockingly cute.
Now I'm gonna look them up.
Yeah, no, you should.
A little bit of sugar on top.
It's the texture, that first crunch, that really does it for me.
Yeah, it's like the caramelized sugar there. That's the texture. Ben, these are 20 meters now you're doing?
Yeah, I'm still doing 40
Actually,
meters.
that one
You're
is
still doing
on
40 meter,
Howland.
okay.
Just seems
The one on the far right.
Yeah,
This one?
it's flattish.
catching
Cool.
up all the time.
So looks like an itty bitty coral over there on the rock.
Oh, it's
okay,
a tall
so
one.
we're-
Where?
Tall whip coral.
Oh yeah.
Hello.
Seems like a couple of them are starting to grow here. And have a look while we wait.
Yeah, sure.
I was just reading about how things like Hurricane Dorian impact sea life, and that for the most part it doesn't have any negative impact, but it does stir things up a little bit, so it helps kind of move the nutrients around. But then also the amount of water being dumped changes the salinity on the surface, so a lot of the more surface-dwelling species go deeper. And then frequently after a hurricane, lobsters will leave.
Interesting. Marley, go ahead and push
It's
in there,
like too
please.
heavily sedimented for them, and they want out.
I do know that hurricanes can be pretty destructive to shallow water reefs, though.
Yeah.
So you do have.
Well, what's the
depending on
definition
the-
of shallow? Like, at what point do we
Oh,
go
we're talking like,
diveable?
yeah,
Yeah.
a couple, like within 100 meters.
But those short-lived branching corals that are successfully fragmented, like I thought that was a good means of dispersal.
Well, but if you have
Too much.
extreme like stress, like fragmentation plus sedimentation,
Oh, I
you're gonna have a lot of die off.
see. I see.
Yeah. This looks like probably a Norella primnoid, with a nice big ophiroid brittle star in the middle there. If we want to pan up,
Sure.
That's kind of
The
interesting.
up is a little spicy.
It is.
Spicy. Interesting branching, because you have like the branches that come off the main branch at the bottom, and then there's
It
kind of
seems
these
to be like
pitch,
wide
these little
branching.
fork, yeah.
Yeah.
And at the top there's like these little forks happening.
Did you want
Just
to push in
kind of-
any more? Oh, Roger. Just kidding.
All right, looking down and coming up.
Roger.
Multitasking.
All right, Alexis, are you guys happy with this view here? I'm gonna
Yeah, that's
come wide.
great. Thanks.
All right, Theo, go ahead and come wide, please.
Little crinoids on those rocks too. And then we have a bamboo whip to the left.
Oh.
What causes the, I guess, the directionality of one of those whips?
I don't really know. I think some of it can be current, like environmental influence. So just
Right.
like what the,
Because it's a pretty sharp angle change, right?
right,
there.
it is. It might be that it, I wonder if it's,
Like it broke or something?
yeah,
and
or
then
like
continued
started
growing?
to snap. And speaking of hurricanes, we have like, because we do a lot of work in the Gulf of Mexico as well in our lab, and people have asked before, can you detect hurricanes at depth, like at 400 or 500 meters? And you do actually see a signal if you have a like lander down below. You can see a signal
Introduce that
of
one to
like
20.
temperature change of mixing even
Right.
that deep into the ocean. So it might not be like super destructive, but you do get influence from those big storms, at least down to half a kilometer.
Yeah, I feel bad for the Bahamas. The last I checked, it was
Yeah.
moving at 1 mile per hour.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So just like sitting there.
Although definitely some abstract discussion about the impacts of hurricanes on landscapes, but there, yeah, you have to remember there's a lot of people. in the
Yes,
way right now.
absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, we are far away, but thinking of all of our community that is in the way of that hurricane.
Coming up.
Roger.
Now I gotta do my stretches before numbers, so I'm limbered up.
You got 11 minutes till numbers are due.
No, we don't start numbers until the top of the hour. Yeah.
Oh.
Oh. All right. Coming up some more. Gesundheit.
Bless you.
Thank you.
I'm just impressed that it wasn't on comms.
Yeah. I just tried to save y'all. That would have been real loud in your ear.
Yeah, it's appreciated as well.
Can we take a look at what this is right here on the left?
Sure thing, the yellow one?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Looks a little bit different. I just want to get a zoom.
Sure thing. I'll get it set up nice for a good zoom.
Thanks.
Yep, and then we'll make it a quick one.
Yeah.
just kind of blown away by the amount of life that is even out here. I mean, we kind of like are scooting over
Sorry,
the
Marley,
surface
it's a bit
quickly,
far, but go ahead and push on in there.
Yeah, it's definitely, if you, whenever we zoom in is when you really
there's
start to
stuff
see
everywhere, yeah.
all the small little inhabitants. Looks like another Acanthogorgia, just very planar, which is not always normal for this genus. Sometimes they're more bushy, or there's more dimension to the branching growth. It's a beautiful colony.
Yeah, lots of little brittle stars.
Yeah,
coming too.
yeah.
If you want, I can look at the one that's closer too.
Yeah, would you? That'd be
Yeah.
great.
Go ahead and come wide there, Marley.
Because this, I think the other one is a plexaurid, so it'll give a good reference for the two
Got it.
of them next to each other for people that, because it is hard to tell those two families apart.
All right, Marley, go ahead and zoom on in.
Wow, that we can see his. Is that his mouth there? The brittle star.
No, that's the other side of the oral disc,
Oh,
so
okay.
the dorsal side.
This brittle star being wrapped around the coral without having impact on the coral itself?
Not anything harmful. They seem to just kind of hang out, and they don't cause any negative impact to the coral. But this, if you remember what we just looked at, they look a little bit different, right?
Yeah.
As far as like the polyp orientation
Yeah.
and size. So this one is a plexaurid.
All right.
The other
Marley,
one is
go
an
ahead and come wide, please.
Acanthogorgia.
Okay.
And this one has that one big brittle star. The other one had a couple small ones.
Yeah,
So
bunch of little
interesting
guys.
to think about who's attracted to who or how those small ones are getting onto other corals.
Yeah.
I think they're actually different genus too. Than like, so that big one is a different genus than the small ones.
Okay. We were talking a little bit about the last time where we saw all the lots and lots of little brittle stars and then two bigger brittle stars. About maybe those could have been.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like the offspring of the bigger brittle stars. And that's totally possible. I think we're not quite sure about deep sea brittle star reproduction, but it makes sense if you think about it that the brittle stars would be laying their young somewhere that they would do well because we don't see them on the sediment or on the rocks. So there's definitely an advantage to being on the corals. But still, lots of those unanswered questions,
I
so
was just thinking if someone was to come out and study deep sea brittle star reproduction
yeah.
and coral affinity, that would be great. Answer some of those questions.
And there are some people obviously out there studying the associates, but again, there's always more work to be done.
It's fun to remember. Fun to remember that we're actually climbing up the sides of an ancient volcano. Right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess for this slopier terrain, we'll just go 20 meter steps.
Yeah,
at a
no,
time.
that makes sense.
Yeah, so we're
I was
working our way
debating
up
that last one.
a kind of larger knoll than the ones
Great,
we've
that's great, thank you.
seen earlier. And
wind
ROV
is
team,
really
does the current feel different
Oh,
here than
nice.
on that smaller one?
It looks like it's different.
Yeah,
It's not as
it's not
intense,
as
but we're not as
crazy.
close to the top.
Okay.
Looks like Ben was pointing out the wind has picked up a bit outside there.
Yeah, we're changing our heading in the wind.
What's our wind at?
20, was that 23 knots? Now it's 22. Wow.
So we might expect rain soon.
Well,
Rain squall.
probably right at watch change. it's a similar steepness to that previous seamount, or that little ridge, but it's just much wider. So hopefully that helps with the current.
Yeah, maybe we won't. Sorry, maybe we won't get that funneling effect like we saw last.
Yeah.
Since behind you is downslope, if you do start to lose control and just get blown backwards, I wouldn't come up. I know that that's the instinct, is always to come up, like if you're starting to get in trouble. I wouldn't come up because you're going to get blown into deeper water and you'll be leaving your tether beneath you, right? Just because of the drag in the water and the weight. So let me come up, and then if you do get blown and we end up
Nice
tail to
glass
tail, we
sponge.
shouldn't have any tether issues.
Big glass
That's a good
sponge.
point. Good point. Did you want to look at this one?
No, it's okay. We can keep carrying on.
Roger.
Carrying on.
Ben, how much ground have we covered?
Let's see.
Not as much as some of the prior watches.
We're only 2 hours in.
Yeah, no, it's, I think, well, we accomplished getting up that little
We did.
feature, so kudos to us for that. Took about 90% of the swatch to get up there.
And all our cables are where they belong, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, we've actually made anywhere between, let's see, we've made about 700 meters. of
Nice,
progress.
that's
Yeah.
good.
I'm actually surprised by that. But
And during our watch?
Yeah, I'm impressed.
Yeah.
I think your measuring tool's broken.
let me see. 150.
Not to introduce unnecessary self-doubt, but
Yeah, 150 plus 450, 600.
Let's put Ben on the
For all
spot.
the algebra fans out there. I think it may be because when we drop off the slope, we go,
yeah, we picked up speed.
yeah. Yeah.
Cool. That's a great pace for.
But we've done even more than that because we've been going up and down so much. On, like,
Yeah,
the
we're only talking
It's
Marley,
about
true.
you wanna just do
We're,
it?
Yeah,
we're
for
talking
sure.
about as the
Marley,
sea
you
crow
wanna do it
flies.
really quick?
The sea crow.
Right, exactly.
Indeed.
As the Oreo swims.
As the
Marley,
Oreos.
yeah. That's good
Well,
right there,
they
just
they
get the
swim in
green
all
frame.
kind of weird orientations.
That's true.
so-
It might not be the best.
I mean, so do
Just to
we
get the
kind
green
of.
frame there,
If you look
Marley,
at our
just to get a
track.
closer view of them.
That is true. What was it, Family Circus? They would have the kid Billy would like take a trip home, and it would be through everybody else's yard and all over the place. It was never a
Oh, you
straight
gotta go
line.
wide there, Marley. Yeah, go ahead. I'm just curious to see if we can get a shot of the three of them in view.
Mm.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Kind of neat. You gonna do a slight zoom in there, Marley?
Looks like that one's got just like a branch missing. That got
Yeah,
that's
dots
it's
very
like
in
it
the
just kind of broke off.
That's
Oh.
good, Marley.
And the one at the top doesn't have as much branching
middle.
Yeah, that's interesting.
on each branch, yeah.
All right, go ahead and come wide, please.
Is that a plexarid? Yeah.
The yellow one?
Yeah.
I think so. Could have been, yeah, I didn't look at it that close.
Yeah, wind's at 28 knots now.
28, nice.
Spicy.
Yeah, what's the
Dude.
current?
It's 0.4.
Okay,
0.46.
that's actually not bad at
Yes,
all.
the current's not bad.
Considering that the current is just additional forces,
yeah,
so that
what's on-
includes dragging Argus through the
Is there
water.
a big crinoid on there?
Yep.
Or a couple big crinoids?
2,
Sure, you want to see it?
maybe 3.
Yeah, let's just take a
Yeah.
look. A
Whoa.
look-see.
All right, Marley, you want to just do a quick zoom there?
Wow, those are really big big crinoids on there.
Yeah.
And brittle stars. They got a whole thing going on.
Yeah.
Got the whole band together.
Kind of derm party.
Yeah.
Everything's a
I'd join
party.
that if I was in a Echinoderm. Sorry.
Yeah, it's interesting because the arms of the crinoid, I think, are different lengths. So it means probably it's either dropped them
Come
or
on,
been
they've been Marley,
predated
I'm a
on
bit
and they've
bumpy
grown
for ya.
back.
I also need to start moving.
Yeah, I'm coming up.
So
Oh, we
the
have a
crinoids
fish.
are filter feeders as well, and we find them up on the corals a lot of times to get up into the current a little better.
Yeah.
So
Sorry,
that
it's
they
getting
can
a bit stronger now.
get more food.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
And
as you
their
get to the
little,
top, you'll find
like
that
feet, their
you'll have
cirri
a
end up
spot where
wrapping
the
around the
current's really
coral.
strong.
So I think too,
you'll
like
also
they
find a
feel
spot where the current is
could-
pushing you
that
down.
could be a more secure place for them than just like being trying
and
to
then
attach
as you
to
get
these
past
rocks,
that,
which are
you'll find
kind of
like a
like
pocket.
smoothish.
Oh yeah.
You know, so
Where
they
the
would
current, where you're
Okay.
kind of like just protected, and
they
that's
can really
usually
just
right
wrap
before
themselves
you
onto a
press the
coral and
top.
hang out versus
you
having
press the
to
top and you hit
actively
current again.
like grip onto a rock.
Like RV pilots have a better understanding of these type of finer scale physics than, you know what I mean?
The oceanographers, you mean?
Yeah, you need a lot of tilt loggers to get your practical knowledge.
Yeah, I'm getting a bit more blown about. Cool.
Yeah, it should steepen a little bit.
Just had a lot of different experiences.
Yeah. Yeah, Greg, you couldn't get your degree in physical oceanography by now.
Probably.
I don't know, you should talk to Emil about that. He studied internal waves. He has a PhD
Really?
in physical
Hey.
oceanography. Yeah.
He does. What was Will Sellers' honorary doctorate in?
I don't know. Storytelling.
Sounds about right.
It could have been storytelling. No, I think it was sampling. It was that sulfur
Oh,
sampling.
yeah?
Yeah, they were trying to figure out. They found.
Is that an Oreo or a different?
Go ahead and push on in there real quick,
What's
video.
gelatinous?
No.
Oh,
That's
it's
one of the
one of the
pelagic,
pelagic.
holothurians.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of those.
Yeah.
Ooh, look at that current.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's just like woo.
So are
Oh,
we.
and it just-
All right, go
Yeah.
ahead, come wide there,
Yeah.
video.
It looks like a Dementor.
It does.
So that's our current right now.
There's your new nightmare.
That's true. Looming
guys
in
are-
my bunk.
All right, I need to come up more.
Yeah,
I
really
need to
cool.
come
I
back and
kind
push
of
it
blew my
too.
mind because
Yeah.
I'd only encountered sea cucumbers as the ones that are just
Right.
like on the
Heading so I can
bottom,
get there
sort of like
faster.
filtering through the sediment, and I didn't realize they could be mobile.
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
They could fly through the sea.
When cucumbers fly.
When
Yes.
on an earlier watch, they had one of the ones where they do crawl on the seafloor and then they will
then
like
they
launch
launch.
themselves
Yeah.
and they start swimming. What are those ones called? I'll look it up.
And that's a different species. That's not either the ones that so we have just
He's
flyers.
struggling a little.
So I think that those ones also feed on sediment,
Okay.
but then they are up in the water column also.
Here, I'm gonna come over and change my heading just so I can get over there. We're gonna hold off for a minute on a ship move.
Yeah.
So I get myself in a good spot.
Marley, I can't really hear
Well, I'm still moving, but yeah.
you. No, not well. Is that me?
I can
It
barely
might
hear
be
you.
that you're next to me.
All right, now I'm in a good spot. There,
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
So Alexis, I was asking about getting a degree in
Yeah, but
physical
you have to
oceanography.
slow down.
Yes.
Are there other types of
Still won't get on the top.
oceanography that you would get a degree
Sorry?
in?
Are you?
Yeah, so there's
Yeah, I'm good now. I'm
essentially
happy.
4 main types of oceanography. There's biological oceanography, physical oceanography, chemical oceanography, and geological oceanography.
Cool.
And all the interstitial spaces between.
Right, and then everything that fits in those cracks. But it's kind of, some of those are, it's more
I'm
like
gonna
for
steal
biological oceanography, it's more of how the ocean interacts and influences biology versus studying like a specific organism and the biology of that organism. So it's thinking about the interactions versus just, same with like geological, it's more about like the interactions of the geology with the ocean versus just studying like a rock.
Right. So I take it you're biological oceanography, Alexis?
Yeah, like that, and that was what my undergrad was in. And then now I'm in more of a biology specific department, but our lab is very biological oceanography oriented. And that we're really curious about how the ocean influences the organisms that we study.
I like when my lab mates come into my office and say, "Oh, do you want to do some physical oceanography today?" And it's like moving things around in the workshop. It's pretty good.
Sounds like K2.
Yeah. Yep. Dave. K2.
So, Ben, will your PhD be in physical oceanography?
So my
Numbers all look good.
my school
There's a
is
nice
a
big
generic
coral.
oceanography, just as the name, but I'm in the biological oceanography department actually.
Oh, okay.
And I work in an engineering lab.
Get some corals.
Yeah, can we take a look at those if we have a second?
Yeah,
Yep,
we
we've
just
got
don't have.
time. We just don't have the tether.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm coming.
No worries.
Wind's died down a little now.
Better.
Yeah, and as someone that's I've always been really fascinated with the ocean in general, so that's why I did an oceanography degree. And the department I'm in now is a biology department, and we don't have an ocean sciences department at Temple, and I really do miss it. I miss being able to talk to people that think
Go
about
ahead
the
and zoom
ocean
on
in a
in,
different
please.
way than I do.
Marley, go ahead and zoom.
Yep.
So on the left, it looks like a type of Calagorgia,
That's
which
great
is
right there.
both of these are primnoids, but we
And
haven't
is
really
there an
seen.
encrusting sponge on it?
It looks
the
like
base?
a stoloniferan octocoral, so
Not the purple part, but the
Oh.
yellow part.
no, I think the yellow part's like an old base of something else.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then the purple stuff is an octocoral that doesn't build its own skeleton, but it just grows on
Rocks or other skeletons.
yeah, other things.
So this one's different from the one above it.
Yes, and those are two different species.
What's the little one
genus.
that just went off the bottom of the screen?
It looks like an Elipsamia, a really small one. Yeah, a really cute one.
You can probably push in a little bit more there if you want there, Marley.
Yep, you've got plenty of time, Jess.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the polyps are facing the other direction. So there's another type of scleractinian called Madrepora, and it's actually pretty difficult to tell when they're this young to tell them apart because Madrepora has a real zigzag pattern to it. But because we can see that main spine, like that main axis
Can you come a little wide there, Marley?
being bare, I would say that that's an Elipsamia.
It's currents making these shots not as pretty for you guys. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Yeah, it's one thing when we're like, if we're in like the abyssal plain or climbing up a side and the current is steady, because then you figure out how much force you need to hold against the current pretty well.
Yeah.
But the current here is constantly shifting.
See if we can find some more. Looks like there's a purple one over here.
Oh, nice. Yeah, let's look at that. This might be what they were seeing earlier. They said they sampled a like blue yellow plexarid.
Yeah.
Greg, would you be able to give me the bubble on the porch, please?
Yeah.
Or this is Victor Gorgia, but we'll see when we get there.
That's super purple.
That is excessively purple.
I'm gonna hop
had a
up and sit
permit
on
for
this
that
ledge above that photo there.
Oh my gosh. Says the Fish and Wildlife Service.
We do issue permits for excessive purpality. So.
Purpality.
Well,
Need
if
to
you
have a
didn't
real
before, you do
purpose.
now.
Oh no.
What is your reason for being so excessively purple?
Just want to be fun and vibrant.
Just to be preposterous.
Come on, Ben, it's pun.
It's
It is
pun.
really,
Oh
really pun.
dear.
Alexis, you should dye your hair permit purple.
Permit purple.
That's a
All
new
right,
one.
go ahead and push on in there, please.
If you don't know, I have blue hair, which is why
It's-
she's telling me to
It's
dye
the
my hair.
coolest. I love your hair.
He's a
That's good.
pretty fantastic blue, too. Oh,
Yep.
wow, that's so
Yeah, it's
cool.
beautiful.
Great hair color. Go for it, man.
Oh, man. I think the whole van needs to go that shade purple. Let's do it as like a team
Ready,
building
team?
exercise.
I want to do one bump up.
I like
Yeah.
it.
Speaking for the people
Sorry.
with the darker hair, we'd have to bleach our hair first to get to
Yeah.
that purple.
Let's do it.
You have to commit.
Wow.
Wow, that is beautiful.
That
is
is,
so cool.
that's a special coral.
It might be Victor Gordillo, but it looks different too.
I like the little swaying
Yeah.
brittle arms.
Is there any? Can you zoom in any more there,
It's all the
Marley?
way in.
Okay.
It's an octocoral.
It is an octocoral. So it's either within the, it's either an anthothella, which is like they don't really have super hard skeletons, or it's a plexaurid, but it looks very fleshy to be a plexaurid, so.
True, but if it was not, if it was a very flexible skeleton, I would imagine it would be moving more given the current that we have.
Oh, I mean, that's a good point. Do you think we could take a sample of it?
Yeah, sure. Do you have the ship moving right now?
Yeah, I'd
Yeah,
hold
I'd
position
stop.
and do a step back.
Oh, you can
Roger.
see it had a bunch of branches that have all broken off. Is that
Yeah,
the
so I
same
think
coral
that's a
there?
different coral. I think
Okay.
that was something older and it isn't there anymore, and then this one just kind of
Came up from
took
that.
over, yeah.
But it looks like
think
there's like a
it's-
common branch at the bottom.
Yeah,
Hold on, let me zoom out a little.
Yeah, you want to come wide there?
Yeah,
we're
you're
gonna do
right.
a
It
ship
does
move
look
back
like-
there.
that's what's
Can we just snip
confusing.
off that one on the left, or is that
Yeah.
not?
Probably not.
can-
That would do go for the top bit,
Yeah.
just because the arm's on the right side of the vehicle.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, right, yeah.
You
It
wanna
might
do
have
20
taken over
meters?
an old skeleton,
I
and
would
that
do
tissue
20.
just kind of has grown down.
You want to do 20 meters there, Ben? You want to come wide there, Marley?
Yeah, yeah.
Great. Thank you.
It's been suggested that the purple hair thing does give us a team name.
Oh yeah, purple hair team.
Purple
I'll
Watch.
reposition
Purple.
myself here real quick.
Purple watch, yeah.
Pugnaciously purple.
Deep sea
Pugnaciously purple. These are all great names, guys.
Holly's just looking at
Just
me
wait,
as I'm
what's
gearing
gonna
up for a
happen?
I was gonna say perplexarid.
Ooh, the purple plexaurids.
Wow.
Perplexed by our perplexaridly purple.
Perplexed.
Spiraling out.
Purpley perplexed.
I like plexauridly purple.
All right. If
It's
we get too
permitted.
much closer to the wall, pick up, and then we'll come back here.
Play Little Prince whenever we start our shift.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, it is raining outside.
It is.
Oh, shrimp.
Excuse you, shrimp.
Perpetually plexaurid.
Oh,
All right, Marley, go ahead and zoom on in there, please.
Don't be too violent with yours.
What?
Oh, I see what you did there.
You can come a little bit more wide there, sorry.
Jess gets extra points
All right, I'm done.
because she can concentrate during all of this.
while logging the data, it's pretty impressive.
All right, that's great there, Marley. Did you want, so you want just the top snip?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay.
Got you on
Where do we
bubble.
want to put this guy?
If we can do another little box on the starboard side,
Sure.
so the other 3 are free.
And
So-
it will be light again, so you'll want to do like you did last time to get it in.
Okay. Go ahead and push in a little bit more there, Marley.
Yeah, yeah.
That should be great right there.
And I've got you on bubble.
Okay. So we can take a small snip. We take a small snip that might float out. We might put that in a slurp, or we can just take kind of the top off this guy.
We could do a small snip into the slurp if you feel comfortable with that.
Yeah, sure. I don't mind.
We have 4 through 7 free for slurps.
4 through 7, Roger. I mean, I can do a haircut kind of like this here. You see what I'm saying?
Give it a mohawk.
Should we give it a mohawk, guys?
Moving
Definitely.
the mohawk.
Purple punk.
Yes.
Watch your shadows. There you go.
Get through there. Just take that much.
Nice. Give it a little twist.
Yeah.
You look free.
I think I have one more guy left there. Don't want to take the whole thing. Well, it's very intact.
There we
There
go.
we go.
Nice.
Definitely looks like Victor Gorgia now that we have
What is
snipped
it?
Victor Gorgia.
Victor Gorgia.
Did you want to do a tight zoom on this sample real quick?
Yep. Hold on. All right.
Oh, the polyps are closed.
Yeah, so they all close when they feel
Like they've been
like
snipped off.
disturbance. Yeah.
A giant yellow ROV.
That's great.
All right.
Thank you.
Go ahead and come by there, Marley. Alright.
Data, this is 030?
Yeah, 50.
Let me know when you have all the buckets flushed there, or the hose flushed rather.
Yeah, I think the bubble camera moved, or the bucket camera moved,
Oh yeah.
because I think I'm lined up on flush right now.
Yeah, I think you're right. I'll have to fix that.
Are you going for a 4?
I'm trying to, let's see, that
Trying to
one's
read.
6. I'm on 7,
Yeah.
that's 6. So now we're on 6.
Yeah.
Which camera is
Now we're
that?
on 5.
It's on camera or monitor
Now
7.
we're on
That's bucket.
4,
Yeah.
if I have this correct. Let me confirm.
Yeah, 'cause
Okay,
that one looks
yep.
like it's full.
Okay,
Ready there?
yep, I'm ready.
Roger, Dodger.
I would see if you could maybe spin around so you're releasing from the snip side, if that makes
Think
sense.
so?
So like rotate 180.
I was thinking I was gonna kind of get this guy kind of a
In
little
and
bit
then
in
let
the
it go.
tube. Yeah. Or see if I can get that. If not, we have a little bit more haircut left. We'll try it both ways, perhaps. Marley, you want to zoom in there a bit, please?
Yep.
That's great right there. Thank you.
And I've got you on bubble.
Roger, thank you.
On the big screen.
Ooh, big screen TV. Maybe you're right. Maybe this little nub in here will be the way to go.
I would probably still go with the little nubbin and let it.
Think so?
You just want to make sure that you're lined up, so down more.
Yeah, I see I'm on my bolt right now.
Yep. So wrist up and then shoulder
Yeah.
down. No, wrist the other way. You don't want to straighten your wrist, you want to bend it more.
Yeah.
Otherwise you're lifting the vehicle.
Yeah. I'm gonna try this. How about I just go from the other side, huh?
Because you're also on the rock. That's what I was going to say, wrist to a 90.
Yeah, I think it might come from this side.
Then you're going uphill, so you have more rock that way. You have more freedom if you go the other way.
I'm gonna jump up 1 meter.
All right, you can do it here. You just got to wrist towards the left. Keep going, keep going, keep wristing left.
How about here? I like this one here. All right, you ready there, Greg?
Yeah, I'm running.
Roger.
Then give it a...
Nice.
Anything?
Yeah, the bucket it's going into is off camera, so that's the challenging part.
Marley, you want to come full wide, please?
It's the
It's
bucket
actually
to
good right there.
the left in the camera. Right?
Yeah, the one that you just hit the tiny corner of.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
I would give the tube a shake.
Yeah.
Yeah, the camera's been...
It's on 3 right now,
oh,
right?
did I just see it? No, I did not.
We can't turn the camera? You said there's something wrong with it?
No, we can't. That's
can't turn that
that's a done by hand kind of thing.
Okay.
But just run it out, run it back in.
Yeah.
I'm going to...
Can always try putting a rock on top of it.
I do wish we could see that bucket.
Yeah. I do see like little tiny particles in the bucket spinning around. Unless
Right.
my eyes are failing me. So I think it... Sorry? It could be, but I don't see it. Well, maybe you're right.
Well, that's the hard part. It could be pinned to the
Yeah.
stuff on the...
Yeah, for sure.
I don't have my...
Let's see.
We can secure a section and then try looking at the bucket.
Oh, we can't see the bottom, right? If it falls down from where
Yeah.
it was, we're still not going to be able to see. Oh,
We
rotate?
can rotate the
Yeah.
bucket if we secure the section.
Wrong way.
It doesn't look like it's there.
I do not spot it.
Yeah. Huh.
Huh.
Strange.
Hey, we got good flow.
What would happen if you know, assuming it's lodged in the hose and
Yeah.
we went to the surface with it like that, would we still be able
We
to,
get it out later.
yeah, would we still be able to use it as a sample or not?
Yeah.
Probably it would just be dead, and that's, or like it would be in not as good condition for using
Yeah.
the DNA.
Yeah, yeah.
trying to think about where it might be stuck, because if it goes through the first nozzle, the next closed, like the nozzle is one of the smallest diameter things through the whole thing,
Yeah.
except for the joint at the back.
Yeah, maybe.
Pull all the way out to do the yellow line. There you go. And bring it back.
Yeah.
Something's in there.
Yep. Not the something we're looking for.
Maybe we can slurp up a little rock. So I can just like get something else through there.
It's up to science.
Yeah. Do we think we can find a little rock?
Bro, we can find a rock.
A little guy?
Is it little is the question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't slurp up this entire seamount. Be a little large.
Let's try milking it one more time and then right in the bar, sorry.
It's really like robot
And
peristalsis.
bump.
Should we try seeing if there anything came in there?
Maybe. I'm surprised actually that it wasn't part of turnover.
Wasn't part of turnover?
Yeah, well, like nobody was like, hey, this camera's totally not.
On the bucket that we want, yeah.
Yeah. All right.
We
Well,
could just carry
have it. We just don't know where it is.
Yeah, let's just carry on and
If we find a little rock, we'll send
Right.
it up the tube.
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, even if it's something else that we want, yeah, something to go in the tube
Roger.
that's not a purple coral.
Okay, so no more purple corals up the tube.
Or just not in the same until that purple coral makes it through.
Truly perplexed.
Yep.
Those purple corals, man, they're just crazy.
They are. They got a mind of their own.
Yeah.
And thank you, Megan. I was waiting for someone to say that.
Always here to help.
That's about as far as she goes.
Yeah. Could it be also that there might be little bits in there that might getting it clogged?
From other times,
Yeah, looks like there was another coral sample maybe.
you never know.
True.
Can't trust these ROV pilots.
Withholding information.
Okay, I'm gonna.
Stand by one.
I mean, has anyone seen the numbers lately?
We did do numbers lately, about 30 minutes ago.
Right on the dot.
We're not referring to our numbers, guys. Lead plate's kind of wonky and gonna bother some. All right. All right, yeah. You're right, Ben. Go ahead.
Yep. And I am looking down and rotated slightly,
Roger.
but just very slightly, like 105.
Roger. Sorry, Marley, I might push the craft out of the way because I realize I'm in your frame now.
Okay.
It's a mushroom coral.
Oh, you can zoom in
No,
for
it's
now.
fine. Yeah, because you're going to bump in past mango anyway.